Good afternoon and welcome to Hull Beach Parish Council's PR&IT Committee meeting. Item 01, apologies for absence and reasons given. Note full attendance. Item 02, minutes of the previous meeting from the 6th of May. To resolve to agree the notes of the meeting of the 6th of May as minutes. Everybody read those?
Yeah.
Proposer? Seconder? All agree? Thank you. Item 03, declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of interest in accordance with the requirements of the Localism Act 2011 and to consider any requests for dispensations in respects of pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest in agenda items. Anybody?
No, from me.
None from me. Item 04, to receive an update on the photography competition for a Hull Beach calendar. I think I did see some more entries. Are you able to get them?
Yeah, I've only got 6, I think it showed 16
Well,
photographs
there's no
in
change
there.
there.
Yeah.
There's no change. And we are coming quite close to another month. Have we all seen them? I mean, do we think there's enough there to...
There's some like for likes, isn't there?
There are.
Yeah, there's probably some very
are not
similar.
really relevant.
Could we not, some of us not go out ourselves in the parish and just take some photos? We don't have to make a competition, do we?
The only other thing you could do, if you didn't have enough photos to do a calendar, is to do a Christmas card instead.
But
And
we've
then-
agreed to do a calendar though, haven't we?
We've agreed to do a
And we've
calendar.
got people sponsoring it.
Yeah.
So we've got to do it
I mean,
really.
the only other thing
Yeah.
you could do is you could open it up to wider than
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the parish. So, like for instance, you've got people that are at Long Sutton Photography Club
Mm-hmm.
that don't live in the parish and maybe won't put it in because we have
Yeah.
that stipulation. So you could, if you want more to pick from.
I mean, you could ask your dad, you could ask your wife, you could ask your wife, I could ask my partner, and
Yeah.
they don't enter the competition,
Mm-hmm.
but we get
But we can provide some
we get
photos. Yeah.
photographs.
More photographs, yeah.
Yeah,
We can
Mm-hmm.
get all them done, can't we?
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I think we'll do that then. It's got to go ahead, hasn't it, really? We can't, having got sponsorship.
We've got the deadline for the 30th of June, haven't we?
Yes, could always extend
We
it.
can always extend it, because I think we should have enough time, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, printing is the other thing. I got a quote from a company that I use in London,
Mm-hmm.
which was quite reasonable. I think it was £350 for 100,
Mm-hmm.
which are the ring types, whatever. I don't know any local printing firms, but
No, I don't. I mean,
Is
is
that something
100 enough?
I don't know. He's given me prices for 100, 150
Okay.
and 200.
Because we've got to get somebody to sell it for us yet as well, haven't we?
Yes.
Mm.
Karen.
Yeah, I mean, if you could talk to Co-op and Tesco and places like that and see
Yeah.
whether they would have them in there, but also generally some of the high street shops that are sponsored.
Yeah, of course they would.
Yeah,
Sell
so
them, won't they?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Should we extend the closing date?
I think extend the closing date, if we open it up to anybody, but the photo has to be from Holwich.
Yes.
And do it like that.
So can you post on
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Facebook?
I can post on Facebook. I'll probably do it after the Jubilee.
Yes,
That's
I'm
okay.
sure there's enough to do this week.
Yeah.
So extend it until end of July?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
How many do we think we should? It's obviously cheaper to get them all printed in one block than to go back and say, can I have another 50?
I'd say go for 150. Just see what the results are, because then we can base that for next year, can't we?
Yeah.
And what was the thoughts behind sale price and going
I
forward?
don't think we've got to really discuss that.
So how much can they print each one for?
So if it was
That's 100, that's 350.
£3.50 each,
yeah,
isn't it?
which I think is quite
Mm-hmm.
cheap, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they're selling them in the cards and gift shop for £1, but they're not good quality.
No, no.
Yeah.
The ones that the lady from, I think it's Holbitch and Hartwell, or Bixby Matthews does yearly.
Yeah.
She's selling them in the, I can't remember the name of the shop, the old bakery, the one on the corner.
yeah.
She's selling those for £6, I think.
Funky Doras.
Funky Doors.
So why don't we just say it then to mark $4.99?
Yeah.
Because we've got the sponsors that it's going to cover the bulk of them anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't make them too expensive this year.
No.
No. Is that for an A4 size calendar?
Yes.
That's quite reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, he does prints a magazine for me every year, and the quality of his work is really good.
Mhm.
Good.
Providing all the photographs are in PDF, then
Yeah.
it'll be done in a week.
Good.
You never know as well, it may be that we can have something that goes into potentially June's slot in the calendar that people will take of the Jubilee event,
Yeah.
you know?
That would
So,
be
Yes,
nice.
that's good.
and again, you've got things like the tractor run, and so if you've got a stream of tractors,
Yeah.
it varies away from the just everything being church related or,
Yeah.
you know, in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got enough of the chapels already in the church, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we open it up and see how many entries we've got in July,
Yeah.
then realistically,
And I would suggest that we all snap away on Saturday. And maybe at the beacon lighting.
Mhm.
Yeah, and perhaps
Yeah.
on the street parties, whoever's
Yeah.
having one.
well, I can
Yeah.
get my dad to take his camera up there,
Yeah, good.
and then he won't enter, but we can fill in if
Yeah.
we've got gaps that we need to
Yeah.
fill in.
Yeah. As long as we highlight who's not applicable for
Yeah.
receiving a prize.
Yeah.
Good.
And we haven't actually said what the prizes are going to be monetary, have we?
No.
Should we do that, or because we haven't decided? I mean, we did, didn't we? Say 175 and 50.
We did.
Yeah, I think so. Are you going to have enough with the sponsorship and sale price to cover it, or are we
I'll
taking
have
it
to sit
out?
down and work that out.
Okay.
But I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good. Item 05 to receive an update on the youth council. I think there isn't any, is there? Or is there?
John said there's no update, but they have commented they'd like a meeting in June. Obviously, she said to fit in with what everybody else can do.
Oh,
Mhm.
good. Did they say where?
No, no.
No.
Presumably at the school,
Yeah.
I would guess.
The last meeting we had with the school, they came here, but that was for the T-levels thing.
Yeah.
So we can sort that out, just to agree any ideas, any dates you can do.
Make any comment about when in June?
No, sorry, John just said they'd like a meeting in June.
July.
He said they'd still have some exams going on beginning of June, wouldn't they?
When do they break up from school? Is it mid-July?
Usually
17th, 19th
yeah.
of July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Rachel say the 19th the other day?
So if we said the last week in June,
Yeah, because we've got the work experience student
Yeah,
on the
the
20th.
week before.
Yeah. So we did the last week.
So if we say somewhere from the 27th, that week we've got
Yeah.
PPS on the 29th.
Mhm.
So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday or Friday
Yeah.
that week, and whatever time they want in the afternoon. Good.
I think it may also be worth you actually speaking to them directly and also saying, inviting them to a full council meeting,
Mhm.
because that's something that if anyone there is interested in it and they want
Yeah.
to feed back to the school
Yeah.
from we've been to this is what we saw, this is what went on, you know, then they could do that.
I think when we spoke to them last time, they were quite keen that we could run a bit of a sort of an open day sort of thing for them to come here to see what's going on. So whether that would be a full council meeting in the evening or a committee meeting or something like that going on,
Yeah.
and then also seeing what Jan does, etc. and Karen, then yeah.
I mean, as things are going at the moment, that could be a bit risky.
It's what it is, you
I
know.
know.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I mean, it is filmed, it's out there to see,
Yes.
isn't it? So, yeah.
it's you know, there's nothing wrong with hearty debate, providing it's respectful.
Yeah,
Mm.
You know?
yeah, quite agree.
So,
Just go back to the calendars for a moment.
Yes,
So we're down 3,150,
Mhm.
and we're presuming that it's £3.50 a copy with the rest on it.
I can tell you how much that will be.
With that and the sponsorship, that's going to give us 900 quid roughly.
Right.
After we paid for the printing, and we handed out the prize money, that comes to a total of 800 quid. So it puts us £98.50 roughly in profit
Mhm.
overall. It's nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to be greedy, do we?
No.
But obviously there'll be less than £3.50 each, wouldn't there? You like, well, I think so, wouldn't you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll have to look back through that.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, if you send out the figures, then we can do a bit of calculate, can't we?
I'll send those
See.
round. Okay, moving on to item 06, to receive an update on press releases. I haven't gone ahead with the Jubilee Garden yet because I just wondered whether it might be better to wait until it's
Finished.
finished.
Yeah, we've got
Certainly,
the.
I mean, the central area needs more limestone on it. It looks a
Mm.
bit tatty.
Yeah, it needs finishing off around the water area, to be honest.
And
Just so that when they
the
photograph
beds
it,
look
it's
fine.
So
Yeah,
there's only a day's work at the moment.
Yes.
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think get the Jubilee out of the way, if we can get it finished
Yes.
off, so it looks nice. We've then got, in events we've organised, was it for the bank holiday weekend in August on the Saturday,
We have
doing an
an
opening
opening.
of the Jubilee Garden.
As long as we get something in
Yeah.
before that.
Sooner the better, really.
Yeah, because I mean the plants are, all the ones I looked at are all growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all looking good.
Heaven's just fly healthy, doesn't
It
it?
does, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Do you know when your press release has gone in?
I spoke to The Voice last week, spoke to Free Press last week, so
Yeah.
I'm presuming it will go in
Mhm.
this week.
Okay, so the free press comes
Free-
out today?
Yeah,
is
so
it?
that'll be probably Free Press
Okay.
today, and then Voice Tuesday, Wednesday.
Like,
Well, yeah,
probably
just
not
after.
having two in at the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been silly, so we can do that. Any other ideas?
I mean, hopefully we can get some photographs. I don't know whether any of the photographers are coming up for the Jubilee. I suppose they'll be quite busy.
Yeah,
But if we can get some photographs over the weekend, send that in,
yeah,
get that as a press release.
yeah.
Um,
I don't think there's anything else, is there really at the moment, I think?
don't think so. No.
I think you could, obviously, part and parcel of the Jubilee Gardens, from the event side of it, was also trees for schools.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
think
Yeah.
collective photo with the
Mhm.
heads of schools.
Yeah.
you know.
And the tree's gone out then?
No, some of them are still, I think a couple of them have gone out. One of them's in the Jubilee Garden. It was William Stukeley didn't want theirs
Yeah.
because they didn't have room. But they did say that they'd probably bring some of their children down and have a look, probably do a bit of a photograph sort of thing, so
Yeah, I just
that would
think
be useful.
maximise that PR,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
with the schools,
Yeah.
and also do it so that it's also wider as well. So you've got Holmes Bank School, you've got
Mhm.
St Mark's. So
So really, if we think of immediately after we've got the Jubilee weekend, we can make sure we're getting the garden sort of finished off, arrange with the various schools to do a bit of a press release, and then also the papers to come out and take photographs, etc.
Yeah.
And then we can do a whole.
Yeah.
all
That
together.
tree in the middle of the water feature needs proper stake.
It's,
Yeah, it had a stake.
it's done that, and I
Has it?
think they've tried to move, yeah, I looked at it this
Oh,
just
okay.
before, it's leaning over,
Right.
Yeah.
because I think they've moved
They took the stake out.
they took it out
Yeah,
altogether,
they didn't. They haven't moved the
Okay.
thing, but they've taken the stake out from the middle because that was in the water
Ah,
this morning. So
which is why it's leaning over.
yes, that's why the trees are going.
Okay. Did we save the stake?
No, the stake is broken into many pieces.
Oh, is it? Because I've got some at home.
So, but yeah, we can restake it.
Shall I restake it?
Can do, yeah.
Yeah, I've got one at home in the
Have
garage.
you got a tie as well?
No, but I'll get one from Tom Wood or somewhere.
Yeah.
One of the rubber
Yeah.
little things, yeah, I'll do that. To receive an update, sorry, item 07, to receive an update on the notice board in Albridge Grove. It is now in situ. I was going to take a photograph of it actually. It's very good. I mean, it's for 74 quid. It's very good quality. The front is perspex and it's sort of slightly hazy. I thought there was a film over it, but there isn't. But I presume that's just to stop sunlight from fading. You can still read everything.
Yeah.
That's up. And I've got a few posters up as well.
Have we got a vacancy posted down there?
Yes. I put up the running order for the Saturday Jubilee and I put up the vacancy. And I'll put one of that, I made that and I'm going to put that in the top of each one as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You came very close to recruiting 2 people, didn't you? On Saturday.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very close, yeah.
Yeah, there's one lady who's very interested.
The pregnant lady
Yeah.
and her husband who's ex-army,
Okay.
living on the new estate, opposite Tiger's Bar.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a night. And I thought because they'd only moved in January, they probably wouldn't be able to register their interests. But then Sophie said, as long as they're on the electoral roll,
Yes.
they don't need to do a year's service. So we need to keep a lookout for them.
Yeah.
There's also 2, well, a gentleman who I spoke to when I was planting up opposite Holby Size that have just moved here. I don't know timescale wise, but moved here from Kent. And same sort of thing. It's like we don't get anything like that where we live.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. We want to give something back. So
Yeah, some of the feedback has been brilliant.
We spoke to a lady outside when we were outside Tesco who had just moved up from the outskirts of London to one of the estates, and she was quite positive.
Yeah.
And I spoke to another guy who I think he moved from somewhere like Upwell or Outwell into Holbeach, and he said, "What a wonderful town."
We've got to stop the negativity in the press, because that's
Yes.
every one of them I've spoken to over the last couple of weeks has said that you're getting slaughtered in the press, and we are, aren't we?
The negativity in the meetings and is the only thing really putting some of these people off, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, when I mentioned on the last council meeting, they're not the extraordinary meeting about people saying they're not going to join, and it's all because of Mr. Wiltshire's antics on the videos.
Yeah.
That's what they all said. I'm not joining the council or something like that.
I think it goes. I think you've got some people that have that view.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people have a different view. But a lot of people that have the different view, it all comes from historic practices.
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
And I think when it comes to the press, personally, I think the press report it accurately. Unfortunately, there are things that's happening that do portray it in a negative light. But I don't think that's a negative slant that the press put on it. I think it's the fact of where we currently are, and hopefully after that extraordinary meeting, it will now move past that, and we can all go to positive things.
I mean, there is a positive in a sense because all of these people that we have spoken to, they're aware of our meetings. Most of them have actually watched our meetings, and most people wouldn't have even known about it before. So
the guy that came to the meeting, the awful meeting at St Mark's, Gary something or other. I wrote to him, he didn't reply. He came to the last extraordinary meeting and sat there again and looked a bit glum. But evidently Rachel said he is interested.
I mean, personally, is it worth having an actual evening meeting where the sole aim of that meeting is to recruit new councillors? Come to a meeting, ask the questions you want to ask, and put it out there.
Just an informal.
Meeting. We're going to be here for an hour and a half.
You just do 7 till 8:30 or something.
Yeah.
well, in terms of your next agenda item,
That
as
could be our next
a
forum.
forum, I mean, generally any questions people have got as well, but also recruiting councillors
Yeah.
would be useful.
I mean, we've set the next forum for the 16th of June, Market Hill, 11 till 1. So we could do one after that, or I don't know.
I think the other thing that would be beneficial for us is to look a little bit, look at the diversity of what we've currently got on the council. Other than yourself, we haven't got any sort of like, up and coming youth that can sort of like say what, their demographic needs or wants. And if you did have, maybe some of the antisocial behaviour would reduce because you've got,
What are the age ranges at the academy? Are they just up to 18?
Yeah, so year 13 they'd be turning 18.
Okay. So after that, where do they?
you're talking Boston College,
Boston.
Yeah.
Stanford College,
Wisbech College.
yeah,
Uni.
Uni, yeah, Peterborough Uni, that
Okay.
sort of thing.
My son's there, who's doing plumbing, they do all the apprentice training there for plumbing and electricians and everything. And my middle son, in his 30s, he's there as well.
Yeah, I mean they
do have
Yeah.
practical courses as well, which they do apprenticeships for, so
Okay.
you would have a few who are over 18.
The school pupils that might be interested, do we know what years they're in? Are they going to be what I would have called A-level students or?
I mean, I think we'll have to have a meeting and see,
Yeah.
because they've got the different school councils for the different
Years.
kind of age ranges.
There'll be plenty of 18-year-olds, won't there?
But then we have got a work experience student come in
Yeah.
soon. I can't remember whether
The
they're
same.
year 11 or whether they're in A levels. I think they're in GCSE year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we've also got, not as big as Boston, but we have got quite an Eastern European community as well, which again is not represented. So
Yeah.
I think it's putting the feelers out for to as many people as we can and say,
Yeah.
come and get involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's Julia's supermarket
Mm-hmm.
where we could put some posters up and go, I'll go.
Perhaps we could put one up in Lithuanian language if we know anybody who can
Yeah.
translate.
Yeah.
One way got a reasonably good command of English.
Is the shop in Park Road still there?
You
Yeah.
never know when it's going to be open. do you?
Okay. Are there any others? I don't think there are. No.
There's actually only two in Holwood.
Yeah.
I mean, should we aim to do, because we've got you've booked in one for Market Hill in June, haven't we? Should we aim to do a proper meeting, maybe in July?
Yeah.
Advertise it really well, so give notices out to shops, etc., various places, and try and get as many people to come as possible.
I mean, maybe even advertise it as like, an open meeting, like a public forum where they can come in, find out the information that they want to find out, offer their opinions or whatever, and then, but for us, the mainstay of that is to try and recruit people onto the council,
Yeah. So we're just a general sort of forum,
If we
public
can
meeting.
set a date, I mean, that's something we can ask the press to put something in as well.
Yeah. Where would the locations of our next full council meeting be? Based on?
In July, I
Or
think
July.
it's back at
Market Hill. The June one's at St.
Holwick St John's.
Holwick St John, which I'm not going to, neither are you
No.
or your mum.
No. No, we won't be there.
So
Is it back to?
it'll be back to the Methodist,
Yeah.
I would have thought.
or is it down to St John's? Are we pushing to go down to St John's?
Yeah, because we did Methodist for May, St John's, St Mark's,
Okay.
and then back to Methodist.
Jan has asked us if we can relook at the costs because we're only budgeting £30, don't we, per month at the moment, and obviously the outside venues are charging more.
Yeah.
That's
Holwick
just
St
the
John's
budget.
is £15 an hour.
Right.
And we're not going to be there for 3 hours, are we?
No, we would like to think not.
No. But we have to book it in pay for it. So
Yeah.
we'll either say we'll be there from, I don't know, 8:30, an hour and a half.
6:30 or 8:30.
You'd hope that
But you can't
it's
just
difficult.
call a close on a meeting if it's not.
No, of course not.
We haven't finished.
Yeah, because if you were at the Methodist for July, you could tag it onto that meeting and then you don't have to book a hall again, but...
Do it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And then
6
you
till 7 or something.
Yeah.
Or 5 till 7.
Mhm.
Because then you'll catch some people coming out of work, maybe.
Yeah, and then you could
Anyone that's interested can fill the paperwork out there, get co-opted on in the following meeting.
have it all printed on.
Absolutely.
So that will be, that's Tuesday the 12th of July then. And I'll be away.
Brilliant.
We not to.
I specifically said to the people that are booking it, please do not book it for that. And she has.
Well, Monday is it Monday the 11th or is that a bank holiday?
Sorry, Tuesday, I mean Monday the
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Tuesday.
Monday the 11th of July. And then if we do Methodist for the next one and then go to St Mark's for August.
Yeah.
A little bit. Next time.
What venues are there in Holbeach Herne?
Got the village hall, haven't we?
So we could go out there sometime.
Yeah.
Can we look into that?
Yeah, Holbeach Herne.
Holbeach Herne? Because I mean, that's demographically quite a big area, isn't it? Population out there is
I'm sure they've got a Facebook page with
a
contact
couple of
details
thousand,
on.
I think.
If not, speak to Rachel,
Yeah.
she's got the detail.
Yeah. So we'll say 5:30 to 7 or?
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
5:30, because
Yeah.
by about 6:30ish you'll...
Yeah, I would say if you go 5:30, 6:30, it gives you a half hour
Mhm.
crossover to
Yeah.
then be ready for the meeting.
Gives you a chance to get over your tea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have your meetings.
plan that in.
So
We'll do a chippy run for our sakes.
We're going to do some flyers then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we agree to do that now? So I think the sooner they're out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to sort the flies out.
Yeah, I can do a design.
You do a design of a little bit of.
Mhm. Yeah, if I send it around to people, because I've got my standard one that I've done for
Yeah.
the council forums, but you probably want a bit more information on it, don't you?
Yeah, I think it'd be good to actually, similar to what you sent out on Facebook with the governance one, you know, sort of,
Have your set.
have a say, and it's like
Mhm.
it's encouraging that wider voice to come from the
Yeah.
public. I think
Mhm.
it would be engagement.
How many should we print? We just go down the shops, can't we? And-
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can print some here.
Yeah.
My dad can print some off it as well.
Okay,
It's fine. So.
right, okay, good. Anything else on that item?
Yeah.
Right, moving on.
I'll propose.
Oh yes, of course.
Sorry.
Seconded, agreed, yeah, all
Yeah.
done. Oh, it's a job to agree, sorry about that. Item 09 to receive drove defibrillator. I've ordered it today.
It always comes out as dry, doesn't
It does. I ordered it today. The cost, having claimed back the VAT, is slightly less than the money that we received from district. We received 80p short of 2,000,
Okay.
and it was going to cost about 1,800.
Oh, wow.
Just over. The Lincolnshire lines are quite slow, but we've agreed the service contract, and I've asked to order it today, and I've given Jan's details on
Do we
the
know when it will be
address.
delivered?
We don't.
No. I mean, the only thing I can think of is another press release. Could we do a mixture of the notice board that drove and also the defibrillator? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Do it
that's...
at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to, mention the owner of the stores who's been kind enough to do that, and Paul Redgate.
I was going to say
Yeah.
it'd be good to get
Yes.
Paul involved as well.
No, I've told him that we'll do a photo.
It'd be quite nice, wouldn't it, perhaps to look at doing a newsletter every now and then. And say, this is what we've done this month.
Yeah.
Mm.
You don't have to, fill up the whole A4 sheet of paper, do we?
No.
I mean, certainly in the Village Voice, a lot of the parish councils like Monaghan and Saracen's Head do a little page,
Mm.
half a page
Mhm.
every month. month, every
Yeah.
edition, to say what's going on, what we've done,
Yeah.
etc. At the moment, all we're doing is putting in our...
There's no reason why we can't do that, is there?
No.
When's the next village voice?
I've just delivered June, so July's entry will have to be in next week,
Do you want to do about the defibrillator and the,
so I could do that.
yeah, because that's relevant to their area,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, and then maybe just do like a list of the events that we've got coming up.
Yeah,
Because we've got
And you could plug the
2 yard
July
sales,
meeting.
yeah.
yeah, the July meeting, car show, opening the Jubilee Garden calendar, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Karen
probably,
giving back her 29 right now.
so, yeah. We'll send a
So
list.
calendar,
Um,
defibrillator,
yeah.
notice board, Jubilee. No, that's too late, that's ridiculous. The forum.
Yeah.
Anything
In
else?
terms of the events, you've got car show 24th of July, but I don't know
That's
whether that's
been
too
in.
late. That's been in.
I think that's in
You've got,
this month.
we did a yard sale in July, didn't we? In the last events meeting, booked one in.
We did.
And we've got a yard sale on the August bank holiday and the opening of the Jubilee Garden on the same day, but in the evening. So that's a nice little,
That was the 29th of August, I think.
yeah, the Saturday, wasn't it, I think?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Item 10, to receive an update on the digital screen.
It's working.
Is it?
Yes, it is working. Updated it about 3 or 4 times.
I've had a couple of people actually email me and say, excellent.
That's good.
It looks nice when you drive past it.
Yeah. I had quite a few emails come in of people wanting to advertise for businesses.
Yeah.
Some businesses I didn't
Absolutely.
even know we had, so
Mhm.
that's good. I've emailed out the details, so on most of them I'm just waiting for them to send through the advertising and then I can get that up on there. A lot of the stuff at the moment is on the Jubilee, so
Yeah.
once that's done, I'll take all that off and then it might be a little bit better, but
I think it would be worth, at the minute where it's cited,
Yeah.
there is, taking on board what the gentleman said at the full council meeting, there is potentially a trip hazard right in front of it. I know you've got to get close to it to go down there, but even so, even if it was just like a couple of bag of plum slate or something like that, that just goes in and fills it, you're reducing that health and
we've
safety
got
risk.
the slabs that we've taken up.
Right,
And the idea was the parks team were going to cut it around
all right,
to
so
fit.
re-put in.
Yeah, but they haven't got around to doing that yet, so that'll probably be after Jubilee again, unfortunately.
Is it on their work list at all?
I don't think it is, but we can always add it in if it's health and safety, so that's
Add it on
fine.
the red
Yeah, it
list.
needs to be priority, doesn't it?
Yeah, so if that can be one of their first jobs when they come back
Yeah.
after Jubilee, then that'd be good.
Good. And following on item 11, to resolve to agree to purchase a SIM card contract and update.
Yes, so I've been doing a lot of research into the different ones we can get, but I wanted to try and see how much data we were actually using. Currently we've used 0.09 of a gigabyte, and I've updated it about 4 times, which I've obviously updated it more than I would do. Yeah, so it's used literally nothing. Currently we're on a pay-as-you-go sort of one bundle deal with Vodafone, so we've got 7 gig each month, and that's £10, but that's a bit much for what we would need really. So just open up the document. Realistically, it's trying to find one with very low data and basically under £10 a month, because there's no point paying £10 a month if you don't need to. So I've been looking at Smarty, which use the 3 network, and they do a variety of different plans, but you pay for a month and it's just a month's contract, and then you can change your plan each month depending on. but to be honest, they're pretty good value for money. So you've either got plans with minutes, text and data, or you've just got data-only plans. The data-only plans, they've got a 2 gigabyte one for £5 a month. But whether 2 gigabyte might be a bit too tight, but they've got a 4 gigabyte voice plan, so calls, text and data, for £6 a month, obviously including that, so we'll claim that back. But then they have got one on sale at the moment, which is 8 gigabyte, and it's on sale for £3.50. It's usually £7 for 3 months. So
Yeah, no brainer, go for that one.
I would go for that one. And also thinking about it long term, they do an option where you can do group contracts. So if we were to get either more screens or anything else where we need a SIM card for data, for each SIM that you add on, you get 10% off. And you can manage it all in one place. And one person manages all the SIM cards. So it will be a lot easier.
Yeah.
So we'll go for the 8 gigabyte for £3.50
Yes.
then.
Propose?
I'll propose.
Second?
We all agree.
Mhm.
Thank you. Item 12, update on antivirus.
That's me, and I'll apologise, but I haven't done anything. All these bloody hospital appointments have sort of scattered me around all the country, but anyway, I'll send an email out today, like tomorrow, to all users of
Parish ones.
parish, yeah,
Yeah,
Tablets.
tablets, that's the word, thank you.
Um,
And arrange to
yeah.
get the software installed. I'll send a link to them to do it.
who actually has tablets now?
I don't know.
You do?
Tim,
Yeah.
anything now is we never got back apparently.
No.
Sounds was returned.
Yeah.
Your mum uses one, doesn't she?
She
Yeah,
does.
I've got one. You don't have one, do you?
No, I use my
I
iPad.
think Stephen doesn't have one, he
No.
just has his iPad.
Yeah, he's got his iPad Pro, hasn't
Rachel?
he? Rachel's got one.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
uses
she
it.
has got one,
But
yeah.
you don't often see her using it because she usually does everything on the phone.
Well, I think it might be also a reminder that people are not using one, then you
Yeah.
can hand them back, because then we can, if we do get new councillors.
Well, we should have a list of who's got them,
Mm.
logically.
Do we have any spares?
Yeah, we do have some spares. I think there might be one that's not working because the
Okay.
screen's been smashed.
They're not the world's best
No,
tablets, are they?
No.
We are.
It does funny things quite often.
Yeah. No, iPads do the same, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'll get that sorted tonight, tomorrow.
Okay, no rush. Thank you. Item 13, items for discussion and agenda item requests.
Update on the calendar, obviously.
Yeah.
And the photo competition.
I think your general, hopefully we'll have an update on the youth councils possibly.
Yeah, we should do, you can take off the Holbeach Road now, that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the forums on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
press releases on, defibrillator on.
Mm.
Digital screen one, come off, can't
Yeah. That's all sorted.
I would suggest putting on about the drive and managing access.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times that we get, couldn't find it on the drive, it's not on the drive, maybe we need to look at...
we? Training session.
I don't think training sessions would work.
No, not right, but the people who are having trouble
Yeah,
have been offered a
yeah,
training session. It seems strange that some people can access it,
but I think
some can't.
I think a lot of it's down to the sort of like naivety of how the system works. Because like if you go through the minutes of or the information that relates to
Mm-hmm.
this meeting, it's in the agenda folder of this meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you looking at it and people are not fully aware of that,
Yeah.
then they're going to go to the folder. It's like, well, it's not in the folder.
I think
It is in the folder. It's just in the agenda section until
Yeah.
you get it dealt with, and then it transfers across.
some of the headings don't
always
actually
agree.
lead you to the right
Yeah.
place.
I think the problem is you've had, when we set, because it went from Google system, then we took it over, we then reorganised the folders for the committee system. But the way we've organised folders previously compared to how we organise the stuff now, So like you say, you've got a folder where you've got minutes, but that's actually archive minutes
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
but even if you just rename the folder archive minutes, so
Yeah,
people don't,
Yeah, I just think,
yeah.
you know, there's been a couple of times when, like, I've been taken over from Rachel in relation to open spaces, and a couple of times I've gone, I need the information for this, but it's not on there. And I know once your mum said, it's on my OneDrive, I'll get it transferred across. So it's like, it's making sure that everything we need is where it needs to be when we need it. So, you know.
I've organised all the policies and documents with the new ones, so that's all sorted.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just
When the agenda notice goes out, just include it, if the clerks could just include a link.
A link, just
Right,
click on
right,
it, takes you straight to
click
it.
straight to the
Yeah.
drive, then.
I think most times
You
Yeah,
always
it's
do,
on
we do,
don't you?
yeah.
you share a link, don't you, when you send
Yeah.
out the agenda folder?
Because then
Yeah,
people can't complain then, can they?
yeah, but I think it's just making sure that it is as simple as possible.
Yeah.
But that's generally a refiling system for everything that needs doing, isn't it? To be honest.
But again, there's enough of us that's got IT experience that can help out with that. You know, it doesn't all have to fall onto you because
Yeah.
you know there's only so much time that you've got to do these things. You know, so
I think this thing is as well, some of the committees, I know like PR and IT, we have agendas and then we've got the different years and you go in, some of them have got different folders for agenda 21 to 2 and so if there was a standardised way of filing for every single thing, then it just makes it a bit
Same as the
easier.
naming culture of documents as well.
Yeah.
That all needs to be
Yeah.
uniform across the range, doesn't it?
yeah. And I think the other thing is about do we have functionality on a document to say who's opened it last? So we've got a record of, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I think we've been there before.
I don't know whether it's somebody's opened it, but I know if they've edited it or
Okay.
stuff like that, modified it.
It
then-
does come on tape if it's been modified
Yeah.
by last Tuesday, but that, like you say, with Microsoft, that could just mean that it's been read.
Yeah, sometimes when you open it on your tablet, it always opens it as like a PDF first,
Yeah.
and then if you open it in Word and you press the cursor button,
Yeah.
it then says you've edited it. But you
This is why I was suggesting that we just have a read-only document
Yeah.
in the folder so that nobody can edit them.
It'd be
Just
useful
in
if
case.
everything was saved as PDF,
Yeah,
if it's in the,
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I know some people have said, you know, I haven't had that document, and I think Jan has said once or twice, well, you have, because you've opened it.
Yeah, it gets frustrating when you're sitting around a table and it's like we've got a lack of transparency because the information's not there. The information's there. If you can't find it, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
You know, so but if we could also, in that sense, try and meet the problem halfway, then we alleviate that happening.
Well, if we make it easy for them.
Yeah, we can definitely make it easier, because
Yeah,
it's easy
yeah.
for all of us, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then also, if people are struggling to find things,
Yeah.
they need to say before they get to a meeting.
Yeah. But like
That point's been brought up several times,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
I've passed on a couple of times, you know, whenever I've needed anything, I've asked Jan, I've asked your mum, and that information has come straight forward. So the information's there, and it's accessible, but you've got to be proactive and get it.
It's whether you want to access it.
Kids, they used to say that they keep it simple for stupid people.
Yes,
Yes.
good one. Okay, so can we confirm the date and venue for the next PR&IT meeting? Please. So we're looking at the end of July again.
Does it need to be every month?
No, I made that point as well, Rick.
Well, we do it every 2 months. I think
Well-
that's when we first set up the committee, we said bi-monthly PR&IT, because if there's nothing happening,
Yeah.
I mean, we're all in contact, aren't we? So if anything
Yeah.
comes up.
I mean, the next one is in July as normal, because that'll be
Yeah.
Jubilee weekend out of the way and gone,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
updating all the calendars for the July cut-off point,
Yeah.
and then move to 2
2
monthly
monthly.
after that.
So you've got the full council meeting on the 11th, finance on the 4th of July.
Well, if we go 4 weeks from
4 weeks from today.
So you'll be on holiday, Christmas, I mean not Christmas, some holidays then.
When are you talking, end of June or end of July?
End of July.
End of July.
No, we're not, we're talking...
End of June.
End of June.
Yeah.
You'll be back at school by then, won't you?
So, can do Monday the 27th.